Baby, my father wants to hire you. He respects honesty and loyalty. He watched quietly. For years, he admires courage in you. I feel nervous but proud. He asked politely. During dinner, we sat carefully. By fire, I whispered softly, "Don't worry." He nodded slowly and smiled. He values family. Above all, he observed silently every moment. Baby, my father sees your kindness clearly. He trusts intentions fully, completely. I breathe deeply, feeling warmth. He says softly, "I approve." We laugh nervously, together quietly. Baby, your presence pleases him. I thank him, politely, warmly. He admires patience and strength. He asked questions, politely, gently. I answered honestly, without hesitation. He nodded proudly, then smiled. Baby, he promised to guide. He said wisely, "Family matters." I observed carefully every word. My heart beats with pride. I whispered softly, "Thank you." Baby, my father feels relief. He watched attentively every interaction. He smiled broadly, seeing us. "Baby," I whispered, softly, lovingly. He offered guidance, respectfully, fully. I nodded humbly, feeling honored. He asked politely about plans. We discussed calmly every detail. Baby, my father wants respect. He hopes sincerely for harmony. I promised carefully to obey. He appreciates honesty above wealth. Baby, he smiled, then nodded. I felt proud and relieved. He said softly, "Family matters." Baby, my father wants harmony. He trusts decisions we make. I whispered quietly, "Thank you." He observed silently every smile. He nodded slowly, again approvingly. Baby, he wishes for happiness. He wants respect and loyalty. I smiled calmly, feeling grateful. He said kindly, "We trust." Baby, my father values tradition. He asked politely about intentions. We spoke clearly, without fear. He observed quietly every gesture. Baby, my father offers guidance. He smiled gently, seeing us. I whispered softly, "Thank you." He asked gently about future. We discussed openly plans carefully. Baby, my father feels hopeful. He said clearly, "Family matters." He trusts fully our bond. I smiled proudly. Beside him, baby, he watches, softly approving. He wishes respect and honesty. We laughed nervously, together quietly. I whispered softly, "Thank you." Baby, my father knows intentions. He hopes sincerely for peace. He observed attentively every word. I promised clearly to honor. Baby, he smiles, proud, approvingly. He said softly, "We trust." He asked gently about plans. Baby, we replied, respectfully, clearly. He nodded proudly, then smiled. We laughed quietly, feeling warmth. "Baby," I whispered, "Thank you." He observed calmly every interaction. Baby, my father, feels content. He trusts fully our love. He smiled slowly, seeing us. He asked politely about your background fully. I answered calmly and honestly. He nodded slowly, observing carefully. Baby, I whispered softly beside. He smiled warmly, seeing courage. He asked gently about intentions. We spoke openly, without fear. He watched closely, every gesture. Baby, he wants trust clearly. He explained patiently. Family values. I promised fully to respect. He advised kindly. He advised kindly, always carefully. Baby, he believes in honesty. He smiled approvingly, seeing us. He asked gently about plans. We discussed clearly, with care. He offered guidance, respectfully, fully. Baby, I promise to obey. He emphasized patience and loyalty. He observed quietly every word. Baby, he trusts decisions completely. He nodded slowly, then smiled. We laughed together, softly, warmly. I whispered softly, thank you. Baby, he hopes for happiness. He values respect above wealth. He asked clearly about intentions. We responded humbly and politely. Baby, my father, feels content. He smiled gently, watching closely. He offered advice without pressure. Baby, I listened fully carefully. He asked calmly about future. We shared thoughts respectfully, politely. Baby, he watches, softly approving. He trusts intentions, fully sincerely. I whispered quietly, thank you. He explained traditions and expectations. Baby, I promise to honor. He observed closely every interaction. He smiled proudly, seeing us. We laughed nervously, quietly, warmly. Baby, I promise, faithfully, always. He nodded slowly, then left. I whispered softly, thank you. Baby, my father, feels relief. He trusts fully our bond. He smiled again, softly approving. We hugged quietly, feeling warmth. Baby, I promise to respect. He watched closely every gesture. He wishes peace and happiness. We planned carefully for tomorrow. Baby, he trusts our intentions. He hopes sincerely for harmony. I whispered softly, thank you. Baby, my father, feels content. He smiled warmly, watching us. We laughed together, feeling joy. Baby, I smiled, feeling proud. He nodded slowly, observing carefully. We discussed plans, respectfully, calmly. I promised fully to obey. He explained patiently, family matters. Baby, I listened, every word. He smiled approvingly, watching us. He asked gently about intentions. I answered honestly, without fear. He nodded proudly, then smiled. Baby, my father, feels relief. He trusts completely our decisions. I whispered softly, thank you. He offered advice, kindly, respectfully. We considered options together carefully. Baby, I promise, faithfully, always. He emphasized patience. And lo,